Hey everyone, this is a screencast just to go over week 3 in the process book, what's going to be expected of you, and just to make sure that we're all on the same page. So if we start here with this process book instruction page, we will see that this week we're going to be wrapping up project number 1, which is the using the letters to make an abstract composition with the 2 different serif and sans serif fonts. So we're going to be making a mock-up, and that's the final product for this week. So starting with this page, just make sure you change your name on there. And then for step 4 here, this variations, you're going to take from last week. We ended with kind of looking at our favorites. I think there were like 3 or 4 from each option. So you're just going to pick your favorite sans serif from last week, favorite serif, and do 12 more variations of them. So this is all on the computer now, and you're just making little tweaks at this point. So if you look at the sample here, you can see that they look really similar, but there's just small differences. So like there's a bar here and not there, or this extends all the way, this one doesn't. So it's just little tweaks so you can decide those small little differences between each of them. So you'll do 12 of each, put that little red dot on your favorite ones. Here's a video with more explanation if you need it. And then you should end up on the step 5 with your finished compositions. So one for sans serif and one for serif. And these are the final ones. These are all done. No more edits. So it'll look something like that. And there's another video to help you out. And then on this page, you're going to identify the different parts of the typographic anatomy. So from your reading from the Thinking with Type book, you should have learned some in there. If you need more explanation, just a quick Google search will tell you what you need to know. So just pointing out things like the stem, the stroke, if there's serif, or the A center, D center, crossbar, bowl, whatever ones apply to you, just make sure you have 6 of them. So at least 5 it says. In this example, I have 6. So finish that step. Okay, and now we come down to the portfolio mockup. So in this class, at the end of each project, you will do a Photoshop mockup to show what the finished piece would look like in the real world. So this kind of says here for this project, they're talking about the difference between physical and photograph. So it's talking about how because this is an online class, if you would like to make a physical mockup, like you actually want to print this out, make a poster, photograph it, you can. But the easiest way, and what I would recommend doing, is just using the Photoshop mockup, which means no printing, don't have to mess with that, and it still looks like a really nice polished product in the end. So if you want to print, mount, trim, all of that, here's some directions that you'll need to do. But if you want to have a little bit less work and take the easier way, which I would recommend, just do this digital mockup. So in the files for this section, you'll find a PSD mockup, download it. It'll look like this. So when we open it, here it is in Photoshop. So let's see. You'll open it up, and if you've never used a Photoshop mockup file before, I'm just going to walk you through it really quick so you understand how it works. So over here in the layers, you'll see where it says double-click icon. So this one is for the sans serif, this one's for the serif. So if you double-click on that, it's going to open this layer file, which is actually a file in Illustrator. So you'll click on it, it'll open it. I've already opened it. It'll just open up Illustrator and take you to this. So you can, from the document you've been working on, copy and paste your final selection into this document, hit save, and when you save it here, it will automatically update in Photoshop right here, and you'll have your finished product, and it'll be all mocked up nicely on this little pin board. And then you can save the Photoshop file and save it out as a JPEG so that you can bring it back into your process book. So we'll be using Photoshop mockup files like this one quite a bit in this class. So I'd recommend just making sure you're comfortable. This one is interesting in that when you click it, it opens up an Illustrator file. Usually how they work is you'll double click it and it'll open up a second Photoshop file to work in, then you save it and it updates this main one. So they can work either way, but you will want to do that and then bring it back and put it into your process book. Now, the last step for every project in this class, you will have to make a Behance page about it. So everyone, at this point, if you've taken any other classes with BYU Idaho, you should already have a Behance account. If not, it's a good time to make one. And Behance is basically like the standard for creative professionals to showcase your work. So it's kind of like a visual portfolio of all your work. So if you're planning on graduating and going to get a job in a graphic design field, a Behance page is really important because you'll be able to pull it up and show your prospective employer just all your projects, and they'll be all there laid out. It'll be nice and neat and clean. So we want to make sure that when we're posting for this class, we're making very professional looking pages, things that you'd be able to share with an employer. So we're using good grammar and language and nice mock-ups, and you want it to just feel very polished and very clean. So this semester it's nice, they added this little card here that shows you exactly what you need to have in your Behance post to get full points. So part of the points that you will be getting for this project will come from this Behance post. So make sure you have all of these parts, and they have outlined it for you right here, so there shouldn't be any confusion. So you're going to start with, you're going to put a title, obviously. Your first photo should be that finished Photoshop mock-up we just talked about. You're going to want to give it a caption, and then you're going to have a little paragraph here that tells about the project. What were you doing? What were the guidelines? Just keep it pretty what's the word, broad in scope. We don't need to talk about like the nitty-gritty of this class and the percentage it's worth and points, and you don't want to talk about the assignment in the class per se. Just give enough details so that people know what they're looking at, why you did this, what it's about. So you're gonna write that explanation, and then these bottom two images will be just the JPEGs. So essentially what is on this page here, I guess, without the typographic anatomy. So what's on this page here? You'll have, this will be one JPEG, and this will be one JPEG. And then you will put those as the last thing on your Behance post. So let's jump over here and talk about Behance real quick. Let's look at some examples. So this is a friend of mine. He has a nice Behance page. So just so you can kind of see the potential of what it can be, it is basically a little mini website for yourself to have your resume, to have all your work. So over here we see his resume, where he's worked. You can see how many people have looked at his page, see how popular his work is. Then if you click on a project, let's see, it will bring up a window just dedicated to the individual projects. A little bit of a slow connection here. So you can see that his page starts with, he's got this paragraph here explaining what this project is, what they designed, and then below it he has photos of the project that tell the story. So they show the individual cans, all the packaging. So you just want enough photography or videos to kind of give a good scope of what the project looks like. So for this class it's very dictated. They tell you exactly what photos you want, but this is good to know just if you're uploading personal projects or things, you just want to be able to showcase your product in the best light in a professional way. So, oh, and there's a video there at the top too. Videos are great also. So that is everything for this week, I believe. Everything related to Project 2, and then of course you'll have these drawing letters activities, and then you this week have a type journal, which is kind of fun. A lot of weeks in this class will have this assignment where they want you to do a visual audit. So this week is type on clothing. So look in your wardrobe, look around your house, and just find interesting typography found on clothing. So it could be labels, graphic t-shirts, instructions on how to wash it, anything that is interesting. And you want for these ones to try and take nice photos. So this example, they have some really nice photos going on here. Use good lighting as best you can. It's fine to use an iPhone for this, but don't like take it in the dark, in the shadows, and I'm struggling to read what even the type is. So just be thoughtful about it and take as best photos as you can. And here's a little video, a few more explanation, and then the Ponder module here. So that is it for this week. So if you have any questions, just comment on this week's announcement and I will get to them. Thanks.